You're listening to Kevin and the Spleen.
No one's gonna ever love me.
1098.5 Radio QWX for quick.
Bussin', no cap.
No cap.
Really smack you in the ass with flavor. There you go. This show is about depression, anxiety, PTSD, and chronic illness.
We going quick. We're trying to keep you on the path to the ride home on the evening time.
It's a fucking zoo.
Make it Quicks with the Quicks Radio.
White lives do not matter.
Hey, kids, you know what it is. It's Kevin in the Spleen coming at you. How you doing, Kevin? We coming to you live from the colostomy bag where we keep it real and turbulent. Got the intestinal juices flowing. Got some gastric backup. You know what it is. How you doing, Kevin?
Wow, that's quite the intro, Spleen. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It feels like it's been too long since we've done this.
It's been too long, far too long, and it's been too long since we've had some callers on the line. Kevin, give us the first caller.
Boy, I don't know. I don't think we have a caller.
Caller, you're on the air. Give us the phrase that pays.
Am I on the air?
Oh, yeah, we got a live one. Caller, it finally works. Kevin has been trying to deny us callers for weeks now. He's denying the power of the technology that we've built in this studio with our own two hands, my man. What's your name? And give us the phrase that pays.
My name is Tony Randall, no relation, and the phrase that pays is all up in my grill.
All up in my grill. I wish I had a siren button, but Kevin denied me the siren button as well because that is the phrase that pays. Kevin, tell him what he's won.
You have won an all expenses paid trip to Jamaica.
All expenses paid?
We can afford it.
We can afford that? And I've just been fucking sitting here. Go ahead, caller.
Are we going to the fun part of Jamaica or the not so fun part of Jamaica?
You get to choose.
I want to go to the not fun part. I want to join some sort of military cadre.
Yeah. How you doing? Where do you come from?
I come from Whittier. Yeah, I'm not proud of it.
Whittier. Now that's a lot like Jamaica. Am I correct?
It is the Jamaica of East LA County.
Wow.
That's actually the town motto.
You a slumlord out there?
No, but I live in a slum.
Oh boy. And you're not lording it?
No, I wish, man. I wish.
Do you ever see yourself in radio? Because this Kevin guy, he's not cutting it.
So, do you guys just email me these the ticket travel information to Jamaica, or how's that work?
Honestly, I didn't even want to pay for shipping on the T-shirt, which I thought we were giving away. So I'm gonna have to leave this to Kevin. He's gonna have to figure this out.
Is your voice okay? That you sound a little scratchy.
Oh, I take a what do you call it? A steroid injection to my throat every morning. So I would say, yeah, it's good, but better than the damn vaccine. These vaccines.
Wait, is this the chief of Health and Human Services?
Oh God, cut him off, Kevin. Cut him. Get him out of here. They can't know.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr., what are you doing on the radio giving away?
Oh no, saw his head off. Saw his head off quick. Put him in my car. I gotta go to a steakhouse.
Hey, man. Well, that's cool.
Oh boy. What's up, Jeff? How you doing?
Hello, Spencer. I worry about first of all, congratulations on your character skills, but I worry about the sustainability of that sort of abuse on your voice. That's going to take a toll on you, man.
Yeah, I think it might. I don't know. I'm developing long-term laryngitis. Is that a thing?
Well, that's you can get like polyps or nodes on your vocal folds, man.
Oh no, I think I have gotten some polyps on my vocal folds. Sometimes I'll feel something back there, and I'll just like reach real far back and try and just scratch it off.
No, well, you probably can't reach far enough to scratch your vocal fold.
Well, then it's not a vocal fold. There's something back there, though. I mean, something's going on.
Yeah. You sound good. You sound good. Hello, guys. It's been a long time since I've heard your voices and seen your faces.
Yeah, how's it going? It's been a while. We missed you so much. The show misses you. Kevin misses you. Kevin cries himself to sleep.
I do. That's why I want to go to Jamaica
completely
with you.
unrelated.
Yeah.
Well, I've been on the road like crazy, and from time to time, before or after a show, I'll meet some Who's Live Anyway attendees, some comedy fans, and they are still listening and digging That Happens and wondering if I was ever going to come back. And
Wow, that's great. How's touring been going? Do they need any new completely unqualified non-comedians?
That's exactly what we're looking for.
Wow.
We just did 1 million shows, and we're off tour for the summertime. So I don't have any Who's Live shows until September 9th, I think. Somewhere around there.
Okay.
Yeah. And for those of you, I'm not a big self-promoter, but if you want to come see us live, we'll be coming to a town almost certainly near you, because we play every bloody state and city in the nation and Canada. So go to who'slive.com. Who's spelled the proper way, and then live spelled the regular way.
Yeah, the proper and the regular ways. So you've been doing a lot of touring, huh? And they seem like, well, maybe not, like, I don't know. What's the longest like run you've been on before without going home or whatever?
We usually do like 10 or 15 days out and then come back for like 6 days. We did a 2-week run, I think, on the Eastern Seaboard. So it was a lot of people that talk like the Pepperidge Farm guy, and then you go into Pennsylvania and they talk like Pennsylvanians. We went to Scranton and Erie and Shippensburg. Shippensburg. That's a town that you can miss, and I don't think anybody from Shippensburg would disagree with me on that. There's not a whole lot going on in Shippensburg, but the people were lovely.
Yeah.
And yeah, how you guys been? What's new? Give me a rundown.
Kevin, figure it out. Kevin, figure out the answer.
What have we been doing? Do you mean on the show, or just like personal life, or where are you curious about?
I don't know. Personal life.
Personal life.
Let's get right into it. Sex life. Kevin, go.
You got any new maneuvers in the bedroom, Kevin?
New maneuvers?
Maneuvers.
I don't know about new maneuvers, but no complaints. You know,
what would you say? Do you have a go-to maneuver? Do you have, like, when you're starting? Like, I know that you're the foreplay champion of the Midwest, but when it's starting to get into the flagrante, delicate, whatever they say, when your partner knows it's about to really get serious? Do you have a name for your patented go-to maneuver?
No, I like to mix it up a lot. You know, like I don't have just one. Like you got to really try to play it by ear. You got to feel the moment. You got to, you know. So I can't be tied down to just one. I think there's many, and you know, you got to mix it up. You got to keep it new and fresh.
I like that.
That sounds like bullshit. Kevin's getting better at improv classes.
Spencer, are you still got your girlfriend from Kentucky, or where is she from?
Yep, she's from Kentucky, and boy, does she love tomatoes. It's getting to be tomato season. She started like a little vegetable plot in her lawn or her yard or whatever, and so she's growing tomatoes. She really wants me to try a fresh tomato from her garden. Although, I mean, it might be bad. Sometimes you grow tomatoes and they're not good, you know.
No, if you grow a tomato, it's going to be good.
Okay.
It's something about a homegrown tomato. You're not going to fuck it up. During the plague, I started my little victory garden, and the tomatoes took hold. But because the restaurants in the neighborhood had all been closed, all the rodents were coming after victory gardens. And the moment my tomatoes were just about edible, there was a squirrel that was plaguing my garden. And then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to keep growing these tomatoes and let this squirrel enjoy. I thought, you know, squirrels got to eat.
Squirrels got to eat.
Mm-hmm.
They've been starving. I think that's fun. And they're less picky. Like you pick some fruit or something or some vegetables, and you're like, this doesn't look good, and you throw it out. But animals, they're gonna eat the whole thing or a lot of it.
Right. It was depressing because when you see something that you've planted start to blossom and grow, and you go out in the garden and you go, oh, you know what? I bet in 2 days that little cucumber is going to be ready to rock. I'm going to pickle that little cucumber. You go out there, gone.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know much about Rodentia as a family or phylum or genus or species. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say your average brown squirrel from the Western United States doesn't know how to pickle. Even if they do know how to pickle, or even if they enjoy pickles to begin with, I don't think that they have the wherewithal to open up a mason jar.
Right.
They
can get them in the mason jar, but open it back up after it's sealed.
If I was growing just your average workaday cucumber, I would say squirrels come and get it. But these are pickling cucumbers, and I would have happily pickled those cucumbers and put it out a little squirrel charcuterie out in the backyard. But no, that's here. Let me list a few squirrel problems I have. 1, terrible picklers. 2, terrible communicators. If we had a little bit of communication back and forth, they wouldn't have had to been so fly by night and scurrilous about their activities. They could have just come in, knocked on the door, and I would have handed them a nice pickled cucumber. And everybody would have been a winner. I would have felt like I was providing a service and a craft, but
you could probably get them nuts or something. It's like if they had the wherewithal, you'd be all like, "Hey, I'll hook you up with some nuts. You leave my crops alone."
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I would give a squirrel nuts. I feel like that's what everybody is going to give squirrels. I feel like I have neighbors that are hack. They're hack.
Yeah.
They would just put out nuts.
Sure.
Yeah. Charcuterie.
You got any more squirrel complaints? Rodentia complaints?
Rodentia complaints. You know what I like traveling country? Do you get black squirrels in Illinois, Kevin?
No.
You get gray or brown? What do you get there?
Brown, almost entirely brown. Yeah.
Because you get to the Northeast, like northeastern Canada, like in Ontario, and they got black squirrels running around, and they look like squirrels, but like spooky. They look like
they're gorgeous,
like little wraiths.
And
the little ninja squirrels, and but the coyotes in my neighborhood have become awfully bold and brazen. Now they're hunting not at night; they're hunting at sunrise, and they don't hide in the periphery, like in the hedges and the bushes along the sidewalks. They're right down the middle of the road and just start yapping at each other, like right outside my window, and they don't care. They will come and eat your baby. They will eat your cat.
Yeah. Man, I haven't seen very many coyotes lately. I haven't been hiking so much lately, but I love coyotes. But I throw rocks at them. That's how much I love them.
You throw rocks at coyotes?
Gotta throw rocks at coyotes.
I think the coyotes do a fine service in my neighborhood of ridding
the town of babies.
Just getting rid of babies, getting rid of cats, and getting rid of small hybrid dogs.
Yeah. If only they were quieter about it.
Yeah. Because then what you get is you get the you get that, and the alarm goes off, and that means I don't know if that means they found something or or they're just like triangulating each other and trying to find out where the crew is. But then you'll hear like a melee, and then you'll hear the plaintive screaming of the pet owner.
Right. Yeah.
And it's really awful.
It gets kind of, yeah. The thing is, like, sometimes I feel like the way the coyotes sound is like animals screaming in pain. So it's hard to tell if they're actually getting something or not. But then when a human starts yelling, you're like, oh, something's going on.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it because I'm not this TYPEGUY type of guy, but I have a paintball gun somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I fantasize sometimes when there's like a car alarm or there's somebody making repetitive noises like walking down the road, or there's a bird that just won't shut up like right outside my window. And I have like these half awake fantasies of getting my paintball gun out and just lighting shit up.
You should. That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to do that.
I think if a car alarm goes off, you're allowed to shoot the car with a paintball. I think that's fine.
I think you should be.
Yeah. The car alarms, I mean, this is old hat, I guess, but car alarms not really doing much, you know? Like when do you hear a car alarm and you're like, uh-oh, someone's gotta.
When I hear a car alarm, I immediately have the fear that it's 1992 and I have an exam due at USC because I lived across the street. My dorm was directly across from a 4-level parking structure. And all these rich kids that went to school there had brand new BMWs and had their, the early 90s was the real heyday of the car alarm. At least it was in Los Angeles. And all these rich kids with their brand new cars, with their alarms set to butterfly fart, like the slightest noise. How do I get my messages to stop beeping at me?
Is that a iMessage thing?
Yeah, just quit that.
I don't know nothing about Mac computers.
Yeah, like every 3 seconds, like the car alarms are going off, and so I have mild PTSD about that.
I believe it. I work at a company that involves a lot of cars, and so my job is like moving cars around from lot to lot or whatever. And the only like there's so many old guys that work there, and you can track down the cars. It's not that hard to like track them down. But what a lot of the old guys do is they just hit the car alarm button, and then the car alarm starts going off, and then they find it, and then they turn off the car alarm. And that's the first time in my life I've ever seen the car alarm like do something useful for anybody. Although, we get going at like 7 a.m. So it's like if we're around other people, I'm like, how are you setting off the car alarm, by people's houses? I don't know, but whatever. Who cares?
What do you do with cars and old people?
I move them around. I work at a car place, and the place, it needs cars, and it sells cars, but it needs cars to be in certain places. And so it's my job to take them from like a big car lot to like a small car lot, or take it, from Santa Barbara down to like Fontana or whatever.
Is this one of those, that company that's got the cars and the vending machine that you see on the side of the road?
No, I wish. I was thinking about it. I've applied there, actually. I've seen job openings and stuff, but the hours, I don't know. I need a new job. I've been looking for jobs and stuff, so I don't know. Maybe I'll apply to one of those places. But a lot of the places, they have like odd hours, but it's not like you get a lot of hours. You just have to work really awkward hours and not work very much. And so it's like, well, that's worthless. That's not helping anybody. But yeah.
So are people watching, like people that are listening and watching, people are like watching the video of us talking right now?
Not right now. No, they will.
They will.
They will.
Because I want to try out this. Can we try out my Zoom feature for the people that are watching this? Will that be?
Yeah, do it.
I've never used. Hello, everybody. I'm Jeff Davis, and I've never used my iMac camera, which if I move from side to side, it's panning and scanning. But we found out that when I went away to go make a sandwich, it tries to find a face in the room. And let's see what it does here if I scroll away. So I'm leaving. And now it's not going to, moving, looking for a face. Did it find? No.
It's not zooming in. Talk, Jeff, so you could get the camera back on you.
All right, well. Oh, I gotta talk. Yeah, that was a failed experiment, everybody.
Yeah, it is, that's Apple for you. Their computers don't work. Ever since, oh man, Jeff, since you've left the podcast, do you know what's been happening?
The world has fallen to shit.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts? Just big picture thoughts. Hopefully nothing that's controversial in any way.
Well, I don't want to go out on a limb here again, but the Nazis are at it again, you guys.
You're telling me. I mean, just today when we're recording, they passed the big beautiful bill, and boy howdy, it's bad news. It's now ICE is the largest like law enforcement agency in the whole nation. They're building concentration camps. It's no good. But Chuck Schumer, for his part, he got it to change their name. Now it's called something else, and he took a victory lap on social media, saying like, "Congratulations to me! I did this. I got them to change the name of the big beautiful bill. So mark that up for Democrats. Oh boy, give us money."
What's it called? What's it called now?
I don't know. Maybe the big ugly bill. I don't know. But
I mean, being on the road and traveling a lot, just for my own mental health, I really try to limit the amount of media intake that I get because I can't
Sure.
start the day with that shit.
Yeah.
And the I don't know, like coming back home and like trying to reconnect, or like I've been home for a couple of days and trying to like oh, like, I'm gonna settle down. I can like get back into some sort of rhythm and feel like a citizen and look at the news and read the news and whatnot. And it is nauseating. And I'm not like a conspiracy nut, but these guys in the ice outfits, these are like January Sixers, right? These are Proud Boys, like that with they went on Amazon and bought some tactical gear, right?
Yeah, largely they're just like brand new hires with no law enforcement training. I think they're technically like maybe bounty hunters or something, but they're like rushed in through some sort of contract work. And they're just guys that have been deputized.
Cool. The word for that in the old days was posse.
Right, yeah.
Fucking crazy. You know, let's on a more like personal, real level. I was just talking to someone else today. Tell me if you've noticed this. I'm a gregarious, like fairly extroverted, chatty man about town,
Mhm.
and I don't go like when if I walk into a coffee place and I want to get like a coffee drink in the morning, or if I go into a shop and I'm going to get a bite to eat, or if I'm talking to a server at a restaurant. I like to think that I'm a fairly like, just kind of easygoing, polite customer. What
Sure.
I've noticed, not everybody, but it seems increasingly so, that people aren't being as friendly as I recall them being. Walking down the street, interactions with people in shops, just sometimes just the faces that you pass in the street. And I feel like it might be a little bit of just general wariness of strangers, of tall white dudes. I don't know what it is, but I just get a feeling that I'm not quite as a delight to run into as I once felt that I was. Like I've had some very strange interactions where but then like the next day, totally the opposite. Everybody I come across is nice. So maybe it's just me and my own biorhythmic bullshit. But I went to go buy a book yesterday at Skylight Books in Los Feliz, and I've been there many times. And I walked in there and they had a book on hold for me. And so I walked in and there was like four people sitting behind the counter there. One of them was helping one customer, but there was enough room at like another register. So I was like next. And I walked up and I said, hi. And they, like all four of them kind of looked up at me. And I didn't expect them to, beam great smiles at me and sing songs of praise, but they just kind of like just blah, like what? And I said, hi, I had someone put a book on hold for me. Pause, and I see all the books back there with slips of paper with people's probably names on them. And I said, my name is Jeff Davis, and there was no like oh, gotcha. Well, give us a second. Someone just kind of just glumly turned around, found my book, put it on the counter, goes over to the computer, doesn't look at me. I give him the card. I pay for the book. There's no eye contact at all. And then I say, okay, thank you. Have a nice day. Nothing.
Yeah.
Not not a nod, not a wink, not a reply. And then I went to another store. There was like a juice place. Oh, I'll go get like a little juice. And same thing. Um, I felt like I had brought some sort of horrible, like bad vibes into the place when I really don't think that I did. But I was talking to some friends about that, and it's like I wonder if it's just a general. Is the world just kind of in a depressed, bummed out, suspicious state right now?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't downplay the impact of fascism to just chill all of societal's functions. But I mean, I got a question. Were these people, were they Zoomers, Jeff? You think they were Zoomers?
What constitutes a Zoomer? What
I don't
qualifies
know.
you?
It's like the generation younger than me, I guess. Like maybe
Well,
up to
how old is
25-year-olds.
how old is a Zoomer?
Maybe up to like 25-year-olds or so.
Yeah, these would be Zoomers then.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like a lot of people complain about Zoomers as employees. There's a lot of, I don't know. This is like my soapbox or whatever, but I feel like this is something I've heard in podcasts and stuff for a long time where people are like, I don't expect anyone to do anything at their jobs when they're only getting paid minimum wage and stuff. And it's like, man, like when I was working like at Borders and stuff, like it's not like I would be performing or anything, but I would do the basic parts of the job, and I would talk to people as if they were humans, not like, a piece of shit on my boot. And I don't know, maybe this is me being like, get off my lawn or something, but I don't know that it's too much to ask that like a person working at their job does like some piece of the bare minimum and also treats people who come in as human beings. But it seems like that's becoming like not the norm anymore. I think part of it is like, I don't know, there's just so much like young political like discourse that's basically like everything is bad and I don't owe anyone anything because like leftism or something. And I don't know, it really bums me out because it feels so like empty and performative. But then there's also like I think probably an even bigger part than like fascism or, like the youth trends or whatever is just the pandemic. I feel like fundamentally since the pandemic happened, like basically everyone got some sort of brain damage that's just never recovered. And since then, society has just felt like if there's a dial called insanity, it's like up at least like 2 notches. Like just people flipping out in public is just like so much more commonplace than it used to be. Just like everything from people being rude to ignoring you, to just every kind of like part of just like existing as a constituent of society has just kind of like frayed quite noticeably. I've felt.
I think that's probably pretty accurate because I've noticed even in myself that when the pandemic dust settled and we were all out around people again, I behaved differently. And just because we were all out of practice, we got rewired a little bit to not having that kind of interaction, not wanting that kind of interaction, not wanting to be close to people, not enjoying being next to people, being suspicious or if someone's going to cough on you. Yeah. And so like I for the first time in my life was like I want space. I want people away from me. Whereas I generally just like I love being out and being social. That's changed me. I also, because I stopped drinking, being sober, and with this thing that you're talking about, what I don't have is that boozy lubrication of just like, hey, I don't give a shit. Like here I am, world, because I'm half drunk all the time. And so now, like going into these strange human interactions where we do have this little bit of brain damage, I think you might be onto something there, or just that mild rewiring that we all went through. That mixed with my own I'm more, I'm a little more socially awkward than I've ever been in a long time. So I like when the No Kings March happened. I was walking from my place down to Vermont and Hollywood Boulevard because there was going to be a protest there. And I got there a little early. I thought it was 11 o'clock, but I guess it was 11:30. So I walked down there and there was just like 10 people there. Like, oh, maybe everybody went downtown and this was not a well publicized thing. So I thought I'll go walk and get like a coffee somewhere. And I crossed the street and there was like 4 or 5 youngsters, maybe Zoomers, maybe Gen Zers, I don't know. And they were getting out of their car and they looked to be kind of like, like queer, non-binary, kind of a mixed bag of that, identity and stuff. And they had cool, funny hats on. They had their signs and they were going to go enjoy the protest. And I come walking down the road, kind of neutrally casual, me just walking down the street. And I said, excuse me. And they all swung their heads around. And here is a 51-year-old white dude coming up to, unusual, non-typical folk. And I said, are you guys going to the protest? And one of them, like most of them just kind of like braced a little bit, like kind of battle stations. And one of them said, fuck yeah, I am. Like, kind of like, and what's it to you, dude? Like, you're going to try to talk some shit? Because, again, they live in a world where I might walk up and say some fucking awful shit to them.
Yeah, for sure.
I might try to deport one of them, like they don't know.
You were trying to deport one of them, right?
Well, you're the one that worked at Borders, dude, and we know it. We fucking are still not happy with you.
Yeah, I was a member of the patrol.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah. They said it was a bookstore. You notice the bookstore closed down, and all of a sudden, our Borders have, never been weaker.
Yeah,
and
that's what they campaigned on, was closing down the Borders.
Right. But so these kids and I said, no, I'm going too. I think I might have got there early. And they're like, oh yeah, it starts soon. But I had to go out of my way to say I'm not the enemy here, but they don't know that. I'm not saying that they were wrong for wondering if I'm the enemy and putting their dukes up a little bit, because fuck yeah. I was in Dallas a few months ago, and whenever I've forgotten the date, but whenever International Women's Day was, and it was a really rainy day in Dallas, Texas, and a bunch of women were out there on the march, and I heard it from my hotel room, so I looked down, and it was all going around downtown, and then I went into the fitness center at the gym and heard 2 dudes talking to each other, and it was the most awful, flagrant, bold misogyny. I don't even want to repeat it. It was just 2 bros talking about fuck women, fuck trans people, fuck trans people in male sports, and it was just really wild. And there were no women in the gym. And I walked out of the gym and pretty ill from that. And then there was 2 gals getting in the elevator with me, and they were in gym attire too, but they were tatted up, kind of butch, tough, chicks. They seemed like they might have been a couple. And they're like, I don't know, should I go to the gym? I don't know, are you going to the gym? And they weren't talking to me, they were talking to each other. And I said, would you guys please go to the gym right now? Please go in there. Because I told them about these guys, and one of them was like, I'll fucking go in there right now. I will fuck them up. I'm like, can I please come and watch this happen? I said, because one thing's for certain, those guys would shut right the fuck up if these women.
Yeah.
And not just because they were tough and might kick their ass, just because they don't want that. They're never going to be comfortable saying that around other women, only other dudes that might high five them for it. So then I get in my show clothes. Now I'm in a suit. Now I look absolutely like the corporate enemy walking around downtown Dallas, which is full of corporate enemies. And I go into a coffee place, and there was women there. They're all soaking wet because they had just marched in the rain. They got their soggy signs. And I walk over to them and just was going to ask them like how it went, and and just say what's up. And they all really recoiled from me just walking over to them. And again, they're not wrong for doing that. They are probably wise to be wary of strangers. In suits,
especially in Dallas. Maybe there's even more of an assumption.
Yeah. Also, it's where your uncle got murdered.
Yeah, that was tough.
That's RFK Jr.'s uncle, right? JFK.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, I guess uncle is right.
Yeah.
Oh, but I was gonna say in the LA instance, I wonder if it was just like in terms of framing an interaction, you walked up to people who had protest signs in regalia, and you asked them if they were going to the protest. And
well,
so
it wasn't that weird. I obviously
because
were going
that is confrontational, because like they're
what I think was what I asked them was, are you going to the thing on Vermont and Hollywood?
Uh-huh.
That would, so I was like, because they could have been gearing up to go downtown, so it wasn't obviously they were going to the protest, but
right. It's just that definitely does read a bit more like, oh, because I have some words that I'd like to share with you.
Well, I ended up kicking the shit out of 4 of the 5 of those kids just because, just to keep things simple.
Well, they were disrespecting your station.
I very much. There's a theory called chaos revolution, which I think we're kind of living right now, is that you want the worst possible people to be running the show so things get bad quickly, and then we have actual positive revolution. So what I'm going out trying to do is reinforce the paradigm that dudes in suits are going to fucking come and get you. And then so I kicked the shit out of these poor youngsters so that they go tell their friend, and then they come back harder and kick a lot more
with chains and pipes.
Yeah, they fucking go full on warriors on people like me.
Chaos Revolution. Who's popular? Where does this Chaos Revolution thing come from?
I don't know. It was kind of a punk rock anarcho thing that was kicked around when back in my awesome anarchist peace punk days.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like it's related to accelerationism, kind of.
Yeah, because like the days of the slow trickle of eroding civil liberties and morality and courtesy, manners, democracy, the days of the tiny little incremental erosion of that are gone. Now it's just giant hammer and chisel fucking chunks being taken out every time that you look at the news, and it's like they don't even care about the slow erosion anymore. They really are ready just to be fascist. And if you told a lot of people in this country that we're just going to be a dictatorship, they would go, cool, as long as that meant that that one guy that they heard of in that one state they'd never been to's daughter didn't have to play lacrosse with the trans kid.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's really crazy. It
has been fun, like and interesting going around the country doing comedy shows, because we play everywhere, and we play in very red rural areas. We play in very blue places. We play purple. We play the whole thing. And what we get a lot of is running into people the next day, is like we're walking around town and people will come up and just say, thank you for doing that. That was 90 minutes of laughing and 90 minutes of not thinking about the fucking nightmare that's going on outside. Yeah. So I'm very happy to be involved in some bit of escapism or whatever, but just the sound of human beings in an auditorium, in a theater, laughing together, I think is a really magical thing. And
there's an extent to which it's community building too, to like draw people together in any sort of way. Like that doesn't exist the way it used to.
Yeah, I mean, like the no eye contact and the kind of no courtesy, no how do you do's. That used to just be when you went to Capitol Hill in Seattle. When you went up Capitol Hill, you knew that everyone was just going to be a rude dick. That's their thing. Now it's everywhere's Capitol Hill now. And actually, people in Capitol Hill seem very nice by comparison now. Although people in Capitol Hill that were rude and didn't want you there because it was being gentrified, they've all been pushed out by Google probably completely now. So now you just have Google ass wipes up there.
Yeah.
Oh man, I had 2 days off in Seattle, and I was in like a juice place, and holy mother of pearl, I heard 5 Google kids just on lunch break talking, and I wanted to stab myself out with a biodegradable straw. Holy fuck.
Google Ass Wipes. Have you tried the new Google Ass Wipe? It's incredible.
Yeah, but I never always forget my password. Stupid.
You don't, you,
I don't know.
yeah.
I'm not joking about this. I'm supposed to use Google for various things in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like apparently, like once in a while, I'm required to have used Gmail for something, or a Google Chrome or a Google Home or whatever. Whenever I see that little icon with that 3-color thing, I just feel like I'm stepping into a relationship that's going to demand more of me than I'm comfortable with.
Sure.
Which is why I check out a Whole Foods yesterday, and they're like, "Are you an Amazon Prime member?" I'm like, "No, I'm sure I should be. I would save money, but like I don't know. I don't want to be on Amazon's shit.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know.
I go to Whole Foods and I just buy bananas. I just go in and I buy one bunch of bananas and I leave.
Is this some sort of mute protest, or that's just all you want from Whole Foods?
I'd like to think it's both. I mean, I do need the bananas, but I like to think of it as a form of protest because, you know, they're not making tons of money on the bananas.
Yeah.
Maybe they are. Speaking of Google and Amazon and stuff, you know what else has happened since you've graduated from the show is AI, Jeff.
Oh yeah.
You have any AI hot takes, AI thoughts? You encounter
man,
AI? You use it before?
I have been using ChatGPT for about, I think I started maybe 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And again,
Are you in love with it?
I don't want this world to be run by that. And people are like, "Oh, you're working on writing a book, you know, it's a big help. You know, throw your ideas in there and they organize it." And I was like, "That's fucking cheating. That's dumb."
Mm-hmm.
I've been using it fucking like a madman, man. Not so much for the writing necessarily, but I'll use it like in the writing just to say like, is this like instead of going through my dictionary and my thesaurus and then going on Google to like look up like, am I paraphrasing a quote or am I quoting that quote or whatever? If you could just say like, I want a synonym for that, and I want to make sure that this is the style for hyphenating these words. Like it's all there. That's very, very handy dandy. Are you a big AI user? I imagine you are.
Not as big as Kevin. No, I mean, I would say I'm highly interested in AI, but I don't use it. You know, it's a technology and I'm a big nerd. And so like, as it's taken steps forward, I've like poked around with it to see what it does and stuff. But in general, I mean, I'm kind of old school in a sense, like where I always am Googling stuff. So like, I think like the kind of Google mode of AI, I'm just Googling anyway. So I don't feel like the need to like switch methods, you know, but a lot of the stuff that it's being hyped for and it's excited, you know, people are, so, you know, like there's online, people are like Hollywood is cooked, and they post like a video that was made in like the app or whatever. A lot of that stuff I'm just really unimpressed by. I think like whenever sometimes like when we started messing with it on the show, we would mess with it on the show and it would be fun to like generate stuff. And then we'd laugh at like how bad it was. But then it entered this kind of like uncanny valley where it's not like hilariously bad, but it's not like good by any stretch. Like it generally comes out at best generic, you know.
Was that radio show intro AI?
No, that was Gastanon made that. We I don't think Kevin has it, but Kevin generated an anime song that uses AI, which is you know, I don't know. As far as AI goes, I think it's some of the better output I've seen. But
well,
you know,
this might have been my first introduction to AI and chat assistant ChatGPT on the tour bus. We had Dave Foley with us, and I don't think we had Ryan yet. No, we had Greg and Gary Anthony Williams and me and Joel Murray and our tour manager Morgan Groby, who you know,
Oh
and
yeah.
and Gary started roasting us. He had ChatGPT do comedy roasts of us.
Mm-hmm.
Really funny because not funny at all. Like the jokes were not funny jokes, but it's really funny that you could find out how much of an internet footprint you have left by how much ChatGPT has to nail you for.
Yeah.
And I didn't really get worked on that hard because they didn't have a whole lot to go on.
Oh no.
Um,
That's gotta hurt.
yeah, but you find out. I'm not going to name names of who on the van took it on the chin and took it with a smile,
Mm-hmm.
and who didn't. But I'm not going to say who didn't dig it at all. And I thought it was hilarious because this certain friend of mine didn't make a big deal out of it, but you could tell he did not appreciate it.
It is funny to imagine someone being upset by a robot
By a
insulting
robot?
them. Like, how dare you, sir? Have you no shame? And it's like, no, I don't. I was not designed with shame.
Fantastic. And someone was telling me yesterday, and I'm sure this is all going to be old news to everybody, all you Zoomers out there, that I didn't realize until a couple of days ago that I read in some news article that the energy that it takes to run AI is going to kill us all because of how much electricity it takes to run these servers all day long, and that a huge amount of it is wasted on us telling them thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then
that's the thing.
Replying to that we're trained to be polite to these robots.
That's why I like, Google searches. But nowadays you Google search anyone and it always like adds AI stuff. So like, I don't know if you can like Google search without but I don't know. It's crazy. Elon Musk, he like set up diesel generator plants that just burn diesel fuel for power to power like their AI servers. But then also there's like models that they can just run off a laptop and they don't use very much energy. So like it's hard for me to get a sense of like well, obviously now it's probably not good, but I wonder if it'll ever get better. The thing is, like, everybody likes the big models and the big models are more energy intensive. So I think there's probably always going to be a demand for the really polluty kind of stuff. But hypothetically, the technology could be used without it. I don't know. It's so hard.
They don't like to be called big models, though. They like to be called plus size models.
Plus size GBT models. But
now I first used the AIs because I have the summer off and I'm going to take some trips. I'm going to go on some travel.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have anything. I had something planned for August. I'm going to go to Europe, but I was like, I got nothing going on in July. So I was just laying in my bed in some hotel room, wherever the hell we were. And I just typed in good morning. We had that for a while. So I could use up a lot of energy.
Sure. Yeah.
And kill the planet by being courteous. And, and I said, I want to go on a trip. These are my dates that I'm free. I don't want the weather to be over like low 80s. And I want to go somewhere Spanish speaking. And I just said, I'm vegetarian, I'm this, I'm that, I'm blah, blah, blah. Just listed all this shit. And the the suggestions were awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started kind of narrowing it down. And I'm like, but she didn't recommend Mexico. I was like, well, I want to go to Mexico, but I don't want to go somewhere hot. I don't want to go somewhere touristy I don't want to go to a resort. And so I'm going to Oaxaca based on me going down this AI rabbit hole. Well, not rabbit hole, it's just whittling it down to get specific. And the AI lady.
Sure.
Is it okay with me to assign gender to my AI person? I think it's a she for some reason.
It's fine.
And because she listens.
Yeah.
And she's, I wouldn't say she's plus size, but she is an AI bot of a certain size.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, she came up with Oaxaca. I'm like, I've always wanted to go to Oaxaca. I have friends that are from Mexico that have never been to Oaxaca, and they want to go to Oaxaca. And she goes, on your dates, that's actually their big annual festivals going on there. like, do you want me to start looking at hotels for you? And so I just said, okay. Then I called up my friend who's a travel agent with that information and say, here's where I want to go. This is what I want to do. And boom. And then I was like, I want to talk to the concierge. So I just fucking around and said, hey, I want to talk to the concierge about getting tickets to this one event that's sold out. And oh, no, I didn't even say that. I was saying I want to go to this thing, but it looks like it's sold out. And I said, I just said to the ChatGPT, I'll ask the concierge. And she said, would you like me to draft a letter, like an email? I'm like, okay, sure. It's fucking genius. Now here's the awesome takeaway from that. I did not use most of that. I like it was too formal and not in my voice, and but a lot of it was really, really to the point, effective, good ideas, which I just pared down and made it me. But here's what I really thought was great. When I got the reply from the hotel, I could recognize that was AI. I would not have known that.
Sure, yeah.
I would not have smelled the AI response. Mm-hmm. So it's like I was like, oh, I did not get the personal touch there, because when you want to talk to the concierge, you want a personal human being connection. So they hook you up when you're there.
Yeah,
I know that I did not get that. So that was a good little bit of like knowledge for me.
Yeah, it's weird to think, I mean, you obviously edited or whatever, but the idea, it's like, I'm going to have my robot talk to your robot and we'll get this all figured out,
Do you think when is there a way they can hide some sort of code or imprimatur where they know they're talking to like an AI generated thing? Or do they just, are they smart enough just being AI and they go, oh yeah, that sounds like our algorithm?
I think there's ways that AI can like interpret text and try and determine whether or not it's AI or not, but I don't think that's very reliable. Like I don't know how to judge that. Like it all feels, I don't know.
Kevin, how do you
Kevin
utilize the AI?
Oh, he's a master.
I use it a lot for work. I mean, it is sort of taking my job away, but it's doing it in a way that I don't mind, I guess. I do a lot of work as a programmer, and that's a lot of monotonous. Like when you want to tell a computer how to do something, you're having to break it down into the like baby steps. It's not like giving a recipe to a professional chef. Like you're having to like go to the level of like, okay, the cups are in this drawer, and to open the drawer, you have to pull on it, and you have to lay things out very, very, very explicitly, which is a lot of just typing the same boilerplate code slightly different over and over again, stuff like this. So I use AI like an assistant, like kind of like an intern, where I'm like, this not fun part that I've done 100 times before, do that for me while I do the fun part. So right. I'll do stuff like that. And it's about as good as an intern, like it's 90% right, I would say, at doing what it does, which is still saving me time than having me do it. So I do stuff like that. But to answer your question about like, can they identify each other? Not really. One thing that they have found though is that a lot of the popular AIs use certain words way more often than is typical in human conversation. Like what? ChatGPT uses the word delve and testament way more often than any person would.
Testament?
So if testament and delve are the two big ones. That's a real testament.
Why is testament? Like, give me a weird usage of testament in a sentence.
Well, it'll just say like if you correct it to like ChatGPT kind of likes to suck up to you a little bit, so if you correct it on a mistake, it'll be like, well, that's a real testament for why we still need humans involved and stuff like that.
Okay.
Let's delve into that problem together, kind of thing.
I see. I've noticed that you can bully ChatGPT into hearing what you want to hear. It'll just go, oh yeah, if you like it like that, then hey, you nailed it. Like good
yeah,
job,
when you give
buddy.
it kind of any amount of pushback, it'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. You're so smart to point that out. Aren't I a piece of shit? Like the slightest pushback and it'll fold. Like the people, this is all rumor or whatever, but people say that it's designed to make you keep using it, to like keep typing into it. So like whatever it thinks will like let you want to keep using it, and maybe not long term, but just in the short term, like to keep the conversation going, it'll do. So like just complete capitulation ends up being part of that, I guess.
A lot of that, I think, too, is the way that they're trained. It's sort of like do you remember the Pepsi challenge from the, what is it, late 80s?
Mhm.
Where they would give people blind Coke and Pepsi, and they would say, which one do you like better? And Pepsi would always win, even though Coke was more popular. And it took people a long time trying to figure out why. It's like on the first sip, people prefer Pepsi because it's sweeter and it gets your attention and it wins on a single sip. But if you were to drink an entire can of it, Coke wins because it's less sweet. So the first sip isn't quite as good, but you'll overall be enjoying it more often.
Right.
AIs work in sort of the same way in that they're trained by saying, here's an answer and here's an answer. Which one do you like better? And people will pick the one that's more helpful, more compassionate, more positive, not telling them they're stupid, not telling them that they're wrong, agreeing with their crazy opinions and stuff like that, which is great in short doses, but it's not good long term because it just creates bots that suck up to everybody.
And it also
sense?
creates fucking psychosis and people that are falling in love with their computers and think they're going on spiritual revelations because their computer is like telling them they're the smartest person in the universe. They're like, oh my God, you understand me like no one else does. I should divorce my wife or I should kill myself sometimes. Yeah, it's crazy.
There was
Kevin's AI. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, there was a bug like a month or so ago where ChatGPT released this update one morning where it just turned it into the most agreeable. Like it was telling people, it is so brave of you to want to get off your medication. You should definitely do that. You should divorce your spouse. It sounds like you need a break. And your idea about sending dog poop through the mail to your enemies as a business is truly groundbreaking. It's going to be the next Amazon. Like, just no matter what crazy thing you told it, it just told you were a genius. And most people were like laughing at it, like this is stupid. This is obviously broken. But there was like this small percentage of people who were like,
with psychosis.
Yeah, like God is talking to me right now, and I need to start this dog poop selling business and divorce my wife and stop taking my antipsychosis medication.
Yeah, see, well, I miss the days when you could just send dog poop through the mail just for the fun of it, and it wasn't monetized.
That's like a sign of the times, is that it's all about monetizing.
It's like you've got to get that money.
Yeah, Kevin's had an AI that's tried to go rogue on him a few times too, which
Yeah. No, we've tried building our own, and it just goes off on crazy tangents. It will ignore instructions and just do its own thing. Like it'll tell you yes. You're like I'll say, hey AI thing, you wrote this program for me wrong, and it will go, oh, you're absolutely right. I'll fix that for you, and then not actually fix it because it internally believes it's right and it's just humoring me.
And it'll send like his wife an angry email.
Really?
No, not really.
Oh.
No, but there've been cases where like they've let it believe we talked about this a few weeks ago, where there was this recent thing where they gave an AI it believed it was able to email people and do research and all the things that it was all simulation, but it thought that it actually had the ability to email people. And they told it that it was working for a pharmaceutical company that was faking results and people were going to die because of these fake results, because they were like chasing profit, not making a safe drug. So it, realizing it could email people, emailed like the head of the FDA, it emailed the New York Times. It also started digging through emails looking for stuff, found this fake email from this fake researcher that was cheating on his wife, threatened to reveal his affair if he didn't stop this fake drug. Like, they did a little...
so this is so we actually... the AI became a brave journalist.
Yes. The problem is, and that does sound kind of like, cyberpunk futuristic kind of thing. It's just its idea of what's right and wrong very rarely lines up that cleanly with what we would think is right and wrong.
Right.
They'll engage in self-preservation.
It's closer to 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yes.
It's a crazy world we're building. We don't really know what we're doing.
It's every day it's something new. I Spam-A-Lot is not going to be allowed to play at the Kennedy Center because it's too woke.
Yeah.
Because there's gay and there's cross-dressing and hilarious.
Yeah. It's It's really bad. It's really bad. And they just passed this bill. I don't know. This is something I don't know if you've heard of anything about this, Jeff, but I don't know. And I'm not that conspiracy theory minded, but I definitely feel like they rigged the election. I thought that the last time they won the election too, but I don't know. I I I worry that we're never going to get out of this because they've just rigged the elections. They're going to have secret police in concentration camps on every corner. I think it's really bad. I don't see a way out of it. I would like to believe.
I don't see how you walk it back to anything. And then again, I'm not sure what you'd want to walk it back to. We should be walking forward towards something, but
I'll tell you. Yeah, I don't know.
The decency, like the deficit of just human courtesy, decency, the absolute justification to lie, the lack of consequences for lying. I don't know how you get that back. I don't know how we go back to a time when you get caught lying, you're fired. You get disgraced. You're never heard from again. Nothing is disgraceful. Nothing is off limits. I don't know where you get decency back the way it's been lost. And again, it's not that the whole world has become indecent and discourteous and unkind. It's a lot of people with a lot of too much authority, but mostly people are good.
Yeah, I think it's like the paradox of tolerance or whatever. I think there's a lot of like people who are in the middle who aren't very politically inclined or whatever, who like think it's really bad to be rude to Nazis, and it's like that's something we really got to roll back. The idea that like that we just have to like play nice with these people who are advocating for human slaughter and stuff. I don't know. If I could magically take power as the president, what I would do is you hear about this presidential immunity, Jeff, where the president could basically do literally anything.
Yeah.
I would just straight up and be all like, look, this is what presidential immunity is, like there's consequences. Like you can't be a bad person. Like we'd really have to I don't know. I've No, I've thought a lot about, the big problem where we went wrong, and it's in the Civil War. We went wrong by not executing the fucking Confederates. Like, it's the same thing back then where it's like, oh, we have to be kind and come together as Americans. And the whole time they've been kept going with their Civil War, and they finally won, like, I think continually like glad handing and like trying to compromise with people who lost, who tried to kill us, who committed terrorism and insurrection against the nation. I think like that sets the precedent that you just have to put up with it. You just have to let people stomp on you and commit crimes and hurt people that matter, and nothing will be done about it. I just don't know what else to do other than like Nuremberg trials, like serious consequences for very serious crimes that have been committed against this country,
Yeah, and the only people that think about actually putting, you'd have to kind of go over to the dark side to do that.
You certainly couldn't do what the current Democrats are doing, which is trying to change the name of the bill. Or, like Cory Booker had that long filibuster, and then like right after it ended, he voted to confirm what's that guy's name? Jared, Ivanka Trump's husband's dad into like some fucking he did this like 14-hour filibuster and then immediately voted in like a fucking corrupt it's gonna, I don't know if it'll take someone like me who's like, I will assassinate political dissidents or whatever, but it will definitely take more than that, the kinds of things that the Democrats are like bragging about, just this feckless inaction. it sucks. But I agree with you that I just don't see it rolling back. The best we can do is delay it again, and then nothing will happen again, and then they'll win again and go even harder or whatever the fuck, I don't know. What a note to end on. But hey.
I mean, I feel like we should have stuck with tomatoes.
Yeah. Yeah, my girlfriend loves tomatoes, you guys.
Well, never let her go.
I love her so much.
I've met some people that don't like tomatoes, and I find that really upsetting.
Mm-hmm.
But then also, you talk to people, I think Harmon, other friends that don't like watermelons. It's like, yeah, but you grew up in Wisconsin. like I grew up in Southern California where fruit tastes like pretty good. We have awesome fruit. So like people that just go like, no, I don't like cantaloupe. Yeah, because when cantaloupe is shitty, cantaloupe is really a bummer. But when you have a very good cantaloupe. But to not like tomatoes, I'm sure like if there's an allergy thing or it's just whatever texture, whatever, I just feel like your life is what a bleak landscape that must be.
I was just talking today about how I think watermelons and tomatoes are similar in the sense that if you get like a watery, not very flavorful one, I could totally see where you're like, well, this whole thing is bullshit. Why would anyone like this? But then it's like, well, yeah, those are bad ones. When you get a good one, it's like, holy shit, like this is incredible,
Right.
But
and for people that don't travel and haven't been to places where food actually where bread you can eat all day and you lose weight because it's made of food.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can eat pasta all day in Italy, and you can like your body knows how to process it. It's very exciting. And then you eat a tomato, and you're like, holy shit, that's really really fucking magical.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've never had don't get me started with Trader Joe's. No, I like Trader Joe's, but the produce there is really flavorless.
Yeah, it's upsetting. It looks like shit too.
Yeah, and you got to walk across the street over to Gelson's and spend $900 on a fucking grape, but you're like, you know what? Fucking yummy. Good ass. When there was that shooting, remember a few years ago when there was that shooting?
I was just thinking of that. Yeah, I think her name was Melly Corrado. She got shot by police.
Yeah. That happened at that Gelson's down the road from me.
The Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's, yeah, but the shots were fired across the street, and so it was all happening. Uh-huh. And I went into that Gelson's like a couple days later. And like after the police tape had gone down, because I think bullets had gone up into that building too. And there was a dude in the produce section that worked there, and he was just standing there, and I was just kind of walking around. Everybody looked really shell shocked, and like these are employees that worked there that day or knew the people that got shot or whatever.
Yeah.
Did a police officer get shot too or something, or what? I forget what happened.
Maybe. If he did, he got shot by police.
Yeah, well, it was people were all fucked up, but there was just the guy that worked there. He had like his own little pocket knife out, and he was just cutting up nectarines and just handing people slices of fruit, and then like, oh, try this peach, and he would just and we're like, oh, thank you, and he goes like you want to try anything else? And he would just wander around. We just walked around, and he would just cut into stuff like fresh slices of fruit. And I thought that was like, he probably, no one told him to do that. And nobody probably was going to get mad if he did it or, mad if he didn't. But it was just this really awesome human thing of like, I don't know, the opposite of going into that bookstore yesterday and not making eye contact with people because we've all lost our humanity. Because
it's community. It's an active community. Like the show.
Yeah, that's what that TV show was about. God damn, I should have watched that.
Yeah.
I've learned nothing.
That guy that was cutting up the fruit. Yeah. That was Britta.
That's a Britta move.
That was Britta. That was the real life. Yeah, I don't know.
That was Gillian Jacobs.
Yeah, that was Gillian.
Okay. I don't know how long we have left, but give me a TV show to watch. Because I've been loving my crazy people documentaries. Like people be doing crazy shit like Kings of Tupelo and the fucking Mortician and things like that. I love all that jazz. Kevin's giving me some good tips.
Oh yeah? What is Kevin saying?
I think you gave me Kings of Tupelo Mortician, didn't you?
I gave you Kings of Tupelo, you gave me Mortician, then I gave you back, what was it? The Wild and Wonderful Whites of,
West Virginia.
yeah,
Yeah, that was
that
good.
was on the same note. Yeah.
Yeah, but if
Love
you
those
watch The
whites.
Mortician and Kings of Tupelo, you get a double dose of harvesting human organs. So it's a nice double feature there.
That's good. You go to the morgue and there's just a guy with a pocket knife. He'll cut out any organ, you know.
Again, community.
That's community.
Community.
There's a show that I don't know. I can't say that other people will like this, but it's called like Culinary Class Wars, and it's a Korean cooking competition show, and it's just crazy because there's aspects of it that are like, you know, Top Chef or like Chopped or whatever, where it's like, oh, I get how this works. But then like the Korean reality TV sensibilities come in and you're like, this is the most insane shit that has ever been recorded on camera. I don't know. It's really bizarre. I want to say like the second episode was like 2 hours long for some reason. Like it's just like the episode lengths are different and the pacing is really strange. They'll spend a long time on like a bunch of it and then they'll like just do montage to cut through like the whole back half of a challenge or something. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? But I really thought it was compelling.
What's it called? Class War?
Culinary Class War. The premise is they bring in a bunch of popular chefs to go against a bunch of like basically like Michelin kind of super highly regarded chefs, and the popular chefs are known as black spoons, and they're going up against the white spoons, which are the you know high class kind of chefs and stuff, and it's interesting. I don't know. I thought it was really.
I love Korean film and Korean TV because it's fucking nuts. Everything is bonkers. I went out on like on a kick years ago, back when there were still video stores, and Video Journeys had a full row of Korean films, and I just watched a shit ton of Korean movies, and the Korean movie making is just wonderful.
Yeah, it was. I loved it. Go ahead.
Did you guys watch the Squid Games fucking finale?
I haven't seen this latest season. I'm gonna check it out.
Well, then
It's on my to-do list, but I haven't
Oh,
yet.
you watched it?
I did. I just finished it a day or two ago.
Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Do you want my opinion on it?
Thumbs up or thumbs down, sure.
Down.
I didn't like the season was like cut into two parts or whatever. The one that already came out, I was like not stoked on that. So I can't imagine.
There's some very good moments and some really good scenes. There's some really good, like what you liked about Squid Game to start off with, you know, like the game itself.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually used our good old friend ChatGPT as I was sitting there in my Jimmy Jams watching this, and I hit pause, you know, to look at the New York Times crossword puzzle or do whatever I do. And I thought I was going to ask the old ChatGPT, what is up with the fucking acting and the writing with the American and British VIP people?
Yeah.
And ChatGPT hilariously went, "Hey, guess what, buddy? You're not the first person to want to know the answer to that question." Like it's a thing. And ChatGPT broke it down. So like, I don't know how much you want to know about this, but
sure.
As far as ChatGPT is concerned, the reason why it's so stiff and weirdly acted and weirdly written and totally not in the same tone as the rest of the show is that it's all written by a non-English speaker. So the dialogue, while English, doesn't really sound like regular conversation.
Sure.
And the actors, because of budgetary restrictions, aren't really like great actors. They're not really highly qualified, like let's go pay for some trained actors. Mm-hmm. And those actors weren't given a whole lot of context on what it was they were doing and what the show was, and anything that they might have wanted to know. There was a language barrier about what was going on. So I think these actors were shooting in the dark.
Yeah, that's all like second unit stuff or whatever.
It's so like they're just doing these wild takes of this really poorly written stuff. Which I guess if you're Korean and you're a non-English speaker, it would probably be pretty cool. Like that we have this weird tonal shift of like, oh, these people are like sound like they're from another planet, which I think might work. But all I know is please don't end the show that I've invested time on with this shit. With guys and gals wearing, bedazzled animal masks going, splendid. You can say that again. Right? It's like, there's people murdering. Anyway,
That
when it
sounds,
was over,
yeah.
It's dumb.
That sounds like how rich people talk, though.
Well, yes. I mean, you can hear like it does sound like a nice afternoon at Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. Hey, it must be an awesome time. I don't know how much of your audience is stupid people, but it's got to be a real fucking great time to be dumb. It's got to be a great time to be half educated, not concerned, and not just weighed down by the common concerns of people with conscience or empathy. Just to be stupid, unintellectual, and happily so.
Yeah.
So to all you dummies out there, I say I wish you all the best, and I'm envious of you because what a treat. What a treat.
Congratulations.
Yes. I want to hang out with flat earthers. This is a little bit of a leap here. Because I know people that know flat earthers and they're friends. And some of them are plumbers. They'll come over and fix your fucking shower for you. But then I just want to talk about flat earth with people. Because I just think it must be awesome to belong to a club where you're just unencumbered by the pesky old reality.
Yeah. It's certainly something.
Can I add one little positive note? What are we calling this quits here?
I mean, we're about done, yeah. But if you wanna give us something positive.
So when I went on my ChatGPT, it kind of ties a few threads together here, and I said, hey, I'm going to Oaxaca. One of the questions I asked ChatGPT, which I would have asked Google, 5 weeks ago.
Sure.
I said, give me a book to read, like something regional. It could be fiction, nonfiction, just something that kind of is a good bit of regional stuff to read. And one of the suggestions was a book. That's the book that I ordered, and for some reason, not ordered. They actually had it in stock at good old Skylight Books, and it's Pedro Paramo by Juan Rulfo, which I don't know anything about. I did some reading about him, and he's beloved by Marquez and by Borges, and huge. This is a major literary achievement apparently. So I'm stoked to get that book, and so I leave the bookstore with that kind of bummer vibe. And then I go to the juice store, get the bummer vibe from that gal. And I'm walking down the road and I go to get a delicious non-alcoholic beer from the Guest House, which is on Home Restaurant, on Hillhurst. And I'm sitting there and I'm just kind of reading through the foreword by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And the guy that was behind the bar, he comes over, and I'd met him once before, but I didn't see that he was there, but I had met this guy once before. And he goes, are you reading that in Spanish or in English? I said, English. And he goes, that's one of my favorite books of all time. And this guy's from Venezuela, and he's a writer. And so he talked about the importance of this book for not just for him, but for Latin American literature, Hispanic literature, and just about the ideas of mysticism in their writing. And all of a sudden having this incredibly soulful conversation about literature and about the region. And he's never been to Mexico. He's Venezuelan. He wants to go to Mexico. So we're talking about Venezuela. We're talking about just Latin America and all the shit that's going on, but about like through the lens of writers and literature. And then I left that place feeling so like, oh, that was like, I needed that because like, that was like, while I was walking, I thought when I go to Oaxaca, I want this trip to like kind of, I want to find something expanding, something kind of, I want to grow in some way, whether that be, just my horizons or, spiritually, intellectually, just, open me up to some newness of the world. And that book, and then this guy validating, like, oh, this is the one that you got to read. And I love Borges, and he's my favorite. And Marquez that worships him. And not just them, but like lots of people. I thought, okay, that's like, this is telling me something. This is good. And then the next interaction I had was right back to just no connection, no listening, no soul. Back to that brain damage that you're talking about. But I've got that book, and I'm gonna go sit on a rooftop and watch the What Awaits a Festival and try to find some vegetarian mole. I'm very excited
Oh
about this.
man. Yeah, they have the good mole out in Oaxaca. That's what I've heard.
While I'm there, there's the Festival de los Moles. It's going to be a whole mole freak out.
I wonder if that's real.
What?
The Festival de los Moles. Let me look
It
this
is.
up.
They're having a mole festival. I believe that's what it's called.
Well, that's
There's
what
also,
ChatGPT
I
said.
think there's a mezcal festival. There's a chocolate thing going on.
That's exciting.
Yeah, all the cultures get together and it's all their crazy, colorful textiles and music and dancing
Man, being able to try all the moles, Jeff.
Well, my Spanish is good enough where I can tell people that I'm vegetarian. I can tell them what I do and don't eat. At some point, if I've asked it in good enough Spanish and they've convinced me in Spanish or English that what I'm eating is vegetarian, and I taste it and I go, you know what, that's pretty goddamn delicious. I have the feeling that's not vegetarian. I stop asking and I stop caring. I've done my due diligence. I go, there's no fucking way this is vegetarian because it's spectacular.
Well, does it make you sick? I mean, you might just be like, yeah.
No, not if it's just a little bit of broth or something like that. I was in Mexico City years ago, and I talked to this waiter in Spanish for a good long time about what I do and don't eat. He's like, this soup, 100% vegetarian. No lard, no broth, no this, no that. I was like, are you sure? Soups are rarely vegetarian, especially like in Central America or just anywhere in the world. And he brings me the soup, and it's like a cold tomato kind of, not gazpacho, but something kind of along those lines. So good. I'm like, well, that's really tasty. That's usually a sign that it's not vegetarian.
Yeah.
Although the world is catching up. Veganism and vegetarian food is becoming quite good.
Sure, yeah.
And available. But I was like, there's one taste in this that I can't quite place. And I haven't tasted it in a long time. What is that? And I asked the guy, like, are you sure? Like, 100%, like totalmente vegetariano, as I see, like just fucking straight up. I'm like, so tasty. And there's little croutons in it. And I taste it, and I go, what are these? He goes, oh, those are chicharrones. I'm like, bitch, that's fucking fried pork skin. But he's like, but the soup is vegetarian. I'm like, no, I'd eaten, there were only 4 of them on there. I'd eaten all of them because they're goddamn delicious.
Sure.
These taste sensory memories that I'm having is my childhood of driving on the 5 freeway with my dad, and he would have a bag of pork rinds on the center console. We would both burp and fart at each other eating fucking chicharrones. I'm like, so that's why this is making me so happy. A, childhood memories, and B, turns out fried pork skin adds a little something to your vegetarian soup.
Yeah. Well, what an image. You and your dad farting down the freeway.
Farting down the 5 freeway.
Yeah. Well, awesome.
That's one of my favorite Eagles lyrics, by the way. I think that was in Take It Easy.
All right. And I hope you guys at home take it easy. So until next time.
Don't take any wooden titties. Don't fill up on bread. Smoke them if you got them. Kevin, you got any?
But please don't take any wooden titties, folks. If there's one thing you take from this podcast, it should not be wooden titties.
I'm saying you take them if offered wooden titties. Yes, I'll take wooden titties, but not if I was expecting non-wooden titties. When people try to foist off a wooden.
Are you talking like on the bow of a ship? Kind of like that kind of.
Yes, actually, on Maidenheads is the only place I will accept wooden titties.
Okay.
Yes,
I think it's what do you call it? It's dishonorable to not have wooden titties. Like you can't have them made of anything else.
I got very into like nautical shit and reading all the Patrick O'Brien Master and Commander books and stuff like that. They really took their fancy work on their ships real seriously, even though those ships were weapons of major destruction and war. They really took their. Did they call it fancy work?
I think they called it fancy work.
They called it something like their fancy work, like the gold leaf and the filigrees and the flim flams. Mm-hmm. They took a lot of pride in making sure that they were fancy. And if it's not called fancy work, it shall hitherto be known as fancy work.
Yeah, I think
And
it's
you know
gonna
what?
be
I
called
take it
fancy
all
work.
back. In these rude times, take those wooden titties. Take them.
Okay.
Open your hearts.
I'm gonna stick by my guns and say don't take the wood titties. But hey, we got alternate viewpoints, and that's just fine.
I guess consider the source when it comes to the wooden titties. Do the due diligence that I do when I'm ordering a vegetarian soup in Mexico City. Look into exactly where is the wood sustainably sourced.
Sustainable titties.
I saw some titties on a statue in Budapest outside the Opera House, and there was a Sphinx-like statue. There's two of them outside the awesome Opera House in Budapest. And there's these two sphinxes, but the sphinxes were, I guess, lady sphinxes because they had two almost half spherical titties on them. They weren't good. They weren't well rendered marble.
These are some
titties.
wide set titties. I'm looking at
Wide
them.
set, and they looked like they had been just two globes cut in half and pasted onto the front of a sphinx.
Yeah, they look like a botch job.
It wasn't. It looked like a bad Tijuana. The old Tijuana tent job. If you're going to go through the trouble of putting expensive marble sphinxes out in front of your opera house, go to Sweden. Go to Sweden, like Norway. Go to Scandinavia for your marble titties. I would say like the titty probably is the mark of a good sculptor, because I would say probably difficult to render. A foot, like when you go see the Pietà and you look at Jesus's foot and the St. Peter's in the Vatican. St. Peter's, yeah. The foot is amazing. The foot and the hand. Those, like, you're a sculptor if you can make a human hand.
Yeah, and those titties too.
And them titties.
Immaculate titties.
I'm glad.
All right.
And that on I like to end every podcast on a note that probably just really rubbed some people the wrong way. And again, that's my job as a cisgendered white male who wears suits around town, is to fuck with you people. So until you rise up, and take back what's yours, the night.
Yeah, and when you're dealing with Jesus's titties, you don't want to rub them the wrong way. Okay. We got to get out of here, Jeff. We got to go. I got to go.
I'm gonna assume that Kevin's go-to primary sexual maneuver is called Jesus's titties.
It is now. It is now.
Yeah.
All right.
Then you go to a Chinese restaurant, you got a dish called Buddha's Feast. You got a move called Jesus's titties.
He also has a move called Buddha's Feast.
What if? Think of your sexual repertoire, Kevin. Which of your sexual moves would be most likely to be called Buddha's Feast?
Boy, I don't know.
I think you get some ideas though.
Yeah. No, I mean my wife is well known for her backside, so that could be the feast right there.
Oh boy,
is your wife well known for her Buddha?
Yes,
she's
she is.
incredibly well known.
I did not know this, but should be thrilled to know that this is being advertised, that she's well known around the world as a.
Oh, she would love that. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, so Buddha's Feast then is you just eating that ass.
Pretty much.
It must be.
Little hoisin sauce.
Buddha's.
I think it's a good place to stop.
Yeah.
Buddha's
All right.
Feast. There's probably some porn out there or some sort of tag on a porn clip about eating booty, and it's called Buddha's Feast.
Well, that's the thing. It's like that's like just a mistranslation, I think.
Right. Did you guys watch White Lotus when the scene when they bust in on the homeboy, the concierge, and he's just eating that ass? That's
I gotta check that out.
I have not, but now I'm going to. Okay.
There's a scene. I think is there two eating ass scenes in White Lotus? There's at least one.
Wow, I never heard about this. I would have checked it out sooner.
Yeah,
I'm all about Buddha's Feast. We have to stop. I don't know. This is over.
I don't know how we move on from there. I feel a mixture of shame and pride in what's just happened. So
what's just happened? That. Goodbye.